The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
1, 2, 3, 4. As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge. Good morning to you, one and all of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastics all across the globe. It is I, your lovable host, El Rod, coming to you live this Monday, December number 18 in the year of our Lord 2017. Welcome aboard. Here it is, the week before Christmas. Yes, indeed. What do you have, 7 or 8 days left to go before the big day hits? You better get in your shopping now if you want to complete it on time. You have Amazon is running into some problems, I guess. We'll try to get into that a little bit later in the program. Probably won't make a whole hell of a lot of people happy about the problems that they're having over there at Amazon, but. So far, it looks like people are getting their packages on time, and nobody is missing them. They're getting all their parcels and packages on time. However, this is what we get when we start moving away from interaction with people. You know, you might want to think about just going downtown. Well, wherever your downtown is, and just shopping locally. Nothing against Amazon. It has some, it has its benefits, obviously. But there's also something to be said for getting something that's a little bit more personal and a little bit more unique that you can find at your local shops in your local downtown. Stay away from your malls. I'm just saying, stay away from the malls. Got some news here of. Man, this stuff is going. We are loaded to bear this morning, so hopefully we'll try to get all this stuff in this week, because this is it for the year, folks. And then we take here at the Rod Eccles Show, we take our traditional Christmas week break, and then we come back the following. This year we shall return to the air on Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, Christmas is on a Monday, so New Year's Day is on a Monday. So January number 2. So we will be off from the 25th of December, the 22nd being the last broadcast day, live broadcast day here, and then we'll be back that Tuesday. Although sometimes I think last year, didn't we go till 2 days out? I don't know. I think it's till Tuesday. I have to make sure I check the calendar. That would make it the 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. If I can look at think off the top of my head, because if Monday is the 1st, that would make Tuesday the 2nd. And Monday would be the 1st because, excuse me, because the 25th is on a Monday. And it's always a week later. That's just the way the calendar works. We've got some climate change news here as well. And it looks like it's going to affect, they're claiming it's going to affect the Olympics, which is February. Now, there's a reason why the Winter Olympics is held in February. Well, traditionally speaking, February is probably across the northern climes where it is winter, the northern hemisphere. February tends to be, in many places, it tends to be the coldest month of the year. Which means that any snow that falls from the sky or ice that is formed or ice that we make or snow that we make will stay for the what is it, 10 days? It's 10 days long, right? I kind of lost interest in it, in the Olympics, tell you the truth. I mean, I don't get me wrong, there are certain sports I happen to like in the Olympics, and the last time that the Winter Olympics, it was hard to find the things that I was interested in. I happen to like curling. I like downhill skiing, not the slalom so much. I like watching them just race as fast as they can go down a mountain. I don't know why, but I mean, I wouldn't do that, but actually I would. So I didn't see a lot. There wasn't. I don't know how they're doing it as far as TV viewing. Is this pay-per-view stuff now? For Olympics too. I don't know. I've sort of lost. It's sort of lost a little bit of its gold, so to speak, some of its shine. Not that it has been politicized in the way that the Olympics has been politicized since probably World War II, or previous to World War II, but because of the kind of politics. Got a story here about the Olympics. The Olympics are in trouble. They're in dire threat because of global warming. Now look at all this global warming crap. And don't doubt me on this, that this is going to be the United States press media is going to use this occasion, the Olympics, to press forward with this false, fake, disproven notion of man-made global warming, man-made climate change, and just how bad Donald Trump is. I'm telling you now, be prepared for it, because that's what's going to happen. The media is going to hate on Trump, and look, Trump is also going to be at fault for, if there's not any snow at the Winter Olympics. Where is it, in South Korea this year? God only knows why they chose there. I mean, I know it's too late to change the venue, but these people, they look. It's not just governments who do this to the Olympics. Who politicize this stuff. Understand, this is the Olympic Committee. They're the ones that are bringing and keeping politics into the games that should not have politics. Why did they choose Seoul? Well, we just want to show that we're not going to be afraid of Kim Jong-un or Kim Jong-il or anything. They knew that the guys, those people up there were despots. They knew way back when they first chose this venue that there could be some issue. And make no mistake about it, Kim Jong-un is, the little fat dictator. He may be a child. He may act like a child, but he's not all that stupid. And what is the perfect time to do something would be to hold the world hostage at the Olympic Games, basically, with his antics up there in the north. And don't doubt me that he's not going to try to do something. I'm not saying he's going to attack, the South during the Olympics, but he's going to create some upheaval. And of course, Donald Trump is going to have to respond. And then the entire media is going to be, holding their breath because it's going to be Donald Trump's fault. Folks, this is what we've got going on in this country right now. I don't think we will ever see anything. Well, if we survive these 4 or 8 years, and I'm doubtful that Trump is going to get 8 years, and not because the American people won't reelect him, because the group that we call the deep state that is still embedded is much. And I got to fault Trump on this one. I got to fault him on this one for not getting rid of the deep state. I know it's pervasive, so it would probably be at a point where the government would have to shut down because he'd fire so many people, and it would raise the unemployment rate. I get that, but we have to do what we got to do. But I also understand that if he did that too fast, too soon, too many, that there would be an all-out revolt. Not that we don't have an all-out revolt, but you would definitely see it. Right now, it's kind of covert. But if Trump got rid of too many people, I mean, just look what Congress has said. If you fire Mueller, there's going to be problems. Folks, that is the legislative branch interfering with the duties and the running of the executive branch, which is the pure purveyance of the President of the United States. That's what the Constitution says. Now, the Congress doesn't get any say other than advice and consent when he nominates cabinet members. That's it. As far as how the executive branch is run, they have nothing to do with it. But they're interjecting and poking their nose in places that they have no business. I mean, this is asinine. We've got a government that no longer understands that there are three distinct and separate branches of our government that have three distinct and governmental duties. You've got Congress who abdicates their duties and who abdicates their jobs and abdicates their constitutional responsibility by handing over their legislative duties over to unnamed bureaucrats who then call this stuff that they issue regulation. Look, none of that stuff. Most of the regulation should not be in place. Why? Because it is Congress's duty to create the laws that these regulations have created. And I keep telling people time and time again, well, Rod, they're just regulations. Do you fully understand that rules and regulations that are put in place by unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats in all executive branch departments carries the full weight and force of law as set by Congress? And in fact, many times, a person may never break a law, but they break a rule or regulation and go to jail for a longer period of time than if they broke a law. That's unconstitutional. I don't know how often or how loud I got to keep saying this kind of stuff. And when you get a guy in office who the people duly elected, who promised to reduce some of this BS, and you would think that the sky was opening up and it was raining literally cats and dogs because Congress and the deep state, they're all having a hissy fit. And look, there are two people that we can blame this on. There are two people, just two, that got all this mess started that we can blame this on. And it isn't who you think. I know a lot of people think, well, it's at Obama, Rod. It was at Obama. No, it's not Obama's fault. Now, I'm going to lay it out for you. The two people that we can blame the most for having this deep state, because they began it, is President Woodrow Wilson and President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Oh, Roosevelt was such a great president. Bullshit. Roosevelt was one of the worst presidents we've ever had. Aside from him actually having some balls, can you imagine if World War II were to happen under Obama's watch? We'd lose. So Roosevelt did have some balls. But as far as creating the deep state, he did it. Woodrow Wilson started it. With his, this whole notion that he was against, let me be plain and simple for folks. Looking at the history of Woodrow Wilson was a racist. He was a bigot. I think he was too damn ugly to be a womanizer, but who knows? I don't know if there was somebody still alive to back from Woodrow Wilson's day. I'm pretty sure that somebody would probably accuse him. You'd have 8 women coming out accusing him of sexual harassment. But he was not a good-looking man by any stretch of the imagination. However, the man was a bona fide socialist bordering on communist. Who do you think Bernie Sanders' hero is? Now, no, Bernie Sanders doesn't say it. I don't believe that he's actually admitted it and said it. But look at everything that he wanted to propose, how he sounded during the election process. He was a new Woodrow Wilson. And then FDR doubled down by starting the bureaucratic nightmare by expanding bureaucracies, creating new ones. Social Security, anyone? Those are the 2 men that are completely and fully to blame for where we are today. Now, you also have to understand that the American people voted for this garbage. So it's not just them. So when it comes down to it, if we really want to get rid of it, then why do we vote people like Jones into office down there in Alabama? Well, man, there's voter fraud. Oh, you know what? I know there's voter fraud, and there's a lot of it. And most of it, the vast majority of it, greater than 90% of it is from what we know so far, is committed by Democrats. I get it. But until I see a 100% voter turnout, eligible, legal voter turnout, I'm sorry, it's just not those who are cheating who's at fault. And why do you keep electing people that allow this cheating to continue? I mean, I'm amazed by this. Because the Democrats, they cheat every time, we know this. But they don't win every time they cheat. That's why Donald Trump is still president. They tried to cheat, and they lost. So it's not that it's not possible. So we got to knock off this stuff. Well, there's got a lot to go through. But it got some Franken news and stuff. Man, this stuff is just, it's got my ire up.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0 Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
As we get into the holiday mood, here I bring you the Christmas song of this hour called The Winter Song by a duo called Head and the Heart. That is the name of the duo. The Head and the Heart with Winter Song.
Tell me something, give me hope for the night. We don't know how we feel. We're just praying that we're doing this right. Though that's not the way it seems. Summer gone, now winter's on its way. I will miss the days we had, the days we had. I will miss the days we had, the days we had. Oh, I miss the days we had. Loving, leaving, it's too late for this now. Such a scene for each has gone. Has time driven our season away? Oh, 'cause that's the way it seems. In the wild of the speech that is new, I'll be back again to stay, again to stay. I'll be back again to stay, again to stay. I'll be back again to stay.
The Winter Song by the duo The Head and the Heart. This morning here, it's a cute little ditty about. Anybody watch all the what's with all the Christmas movies this year? All the made-for-TV Christmas. Every time I turn on the cable box over the weekend, I was looking through the scheduling, the on TV screen schedule. It's just full of station after station filled with all these Christmas movies. Is it trying to bring some Christmas hope and cheer back? Or are we that devoid of it that we need all the... It's like Life... What is it? The TV channel Lifetime has invaded every single other channel out there except for maybe Sci-Fi. Although I think Sci-Fi had a Christmas horror thing. Zombies at Christmas or something. I don't You gotta love it. Everybody's got to, every genre, I guess, has got to get in on the Christmas spirit, right? Well, I guess we've had ghost stories, with the Scrooge thing. So why not zombies too? Right? It just seems to be apropos. I'm surprised that we don't have do we have alien Christmas movies, don't we? Probably do. Speaking of aliens, evidently the U.S. Navy is experimenting with alien aircraft. Yeah, got the story here. You wouldn't? It's kind of funny. Maybe I'll save it for the end of the week. It'll be interesting if they all started, alien aircraft started playing Christmas songs over their loudspeakers. That would be kind of nice.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
I missed it last night. I did not watch it. A Christmas Story Live over on Fox Network. Now, when I first saw the commercial spots for that, at first I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a parody. And the second time I saw it, I realized, no, this is going to be real. And the funny thing is I just finished watching the Bill Murray movie Scrooged. Remember that when he was the whole premise is he wanted to do, and he was doing a Scrooge teleplay live on Christmas Day. Yeah. And so they were doing, I I didn't watch any of it. A Christmas Story live. Okay. You know, television is not. Why are we getting into this live stuff on broadcast TV all of a sudden now? It's not radio and it's not Broadway, so I don't know what they're. We expect something to be a little bit more visually stimulating when we're watching TV, and I just don't see how doing that live can really capture the essence of the original movie. But I wonder if Peter Billingsley, is that the kid's name? I wonder what he thought. Was he in it? Did he make a cameo? I don't know. I didn't watch it. If you watched it, did you like it? I was looking at some of the responses on Twitter. Overwhelmingly, from what I've seen, not all that positive. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't know why we have to do certain things to certain. And it's kind of funny to say that A Christmas Story, Ralphie and the gang is now a tradition because it was made in the early 80s. Wasn't it? It didn't come out like 83 or 85, somewhere around there. But it quickly became a tradition, and now there's a couple of networks at least that I know of that have it on for 24 hours a day during the Christmas day, from like midnight to midnight or something. So so you don't miss it. And if this keeps up, it's going to surpass It's a Wonderful Life as being the most broadcast and shown and viewed Christmas movie ever. I don't know of any station that does It's a Wonderful Life 24/7. There may be. I just don't watch a lot of TV, so I'm sorry, folks. I just don't. It's not all that entertaining. Not anymore. TV used to be entertaining. Not so much. Well, if you want some real good old-fashioned entertainment, then I guess you could head over to the government channel. And you can watch all the nonsense of our government officials in action, both live and recorded, because you want drama. Yeah, these people know how to gin up some drama. Our politicians in state capitals and in D.C., those wonderful script writers in Hollywood have nothing on politicians. And look, I'm not saying that it's just Democrats either, because it's not. There's a lot of unnecessary drama that comes out of the Republican. Well, look what they've done to Trump. Look what they did to Roy Moore. Now, is that some ginned up, drummed up drama or what? And this is just ridiculous. But not to be outdone in the Roy Moore case with the drama, the Democrats have just created some more. And folks, look, you heard it here. What did I tell you about Al Franken's, non-resignation speech? Well, now he's been given the go-ahead, the clear road to not resign. And I know some of you are thinking, what? Franken's out of there. No, he's not out of there. As a matter of fact, Franken is now being urged to reverse his resignation. Yes, the Democrats, the demands from Democrats that he stepped down, according to Senator Joe Manchin, were the most hypocritical thing I've ever seen done to a human being. Okay, so the fact that John Conyers stepped down, that wasn't a hypocritical thing. Look, how many? What are we up to? 9 women on Franken now? 9 women? Now remember, Moore doesn't have, there's pictorial evidence of Franken doing what he's accused of. Now there is no evidence. In fact, some of the evidence that they brought forward against the judge, it was admitted by one of his accusers that she forged it and faked it. So there is no evidence of these 40-year-old allegations, but he was supposed to not even get out. He was just supposed to get out of the race. Absolutely. He was supposed to be gone. No evidence, and these were 38 and 40-year-old charges. Now, Franken, we're talking about stuff that's I think the latest, the farthest back going was 2005, maybe. So we're talking just before this guy gets elected, he does all this stuff. We're not talking, decades ago. We're talking 1 decade at most. And there's pictorial evidence. What kind of investigation do you need? You got pictures of the guy doing this stuff. But Senator Manchin says that it is hypocritical in that he is urging Al Franken to reconsider resigning. He's not the only one, however. Two senators that did call for his Democratic senators that called for his resignation earlier have now reversed their call, saying that they feel remorse over what they feel is a rush to judgment. Well, hey, here's the problem. The problem is if Franken gets out, the Democrats are worried that they could seriously lose the seat could flip to a Republican during the next election. Which I do believe that the governor would appoint a replacement. Wisconsin is an appointed position, not a special election position. I do believe, Minnesota. So they're going to. But he was up for re-election in 2020, I do believe, and they're concerned that he would lose the seat. And Democrats will lose. So hey, if you get a guy who's appointed, and you get a guy appointed to a seat that was disgraced by, a rather, believe it or not, he was a rather, on the Democrat side, he was a rather well-liked senator. Yeah, evidently. As big a nut job and a phony and a fake and bully as the guy was, yeah, well, I guess the Democrats like those kind of people. But you have a growing number of senators saying, hey, Al, why don't you just hang around? Reverse your resignation. Folks, I told you. Nobody was picking up on this. None of the big talking heads, the media, nobody was picking up on the fact that Al Franken resigned without resigning, which means he didn't resign. And his whole resignation, in the coming weeks, I'll be resigning my position as senator. Really? There was no deadline. Anybody else miss that? There was also no. What coming weeks? How many weeks? 3 weeks? 30 weeks? 52? There was no deadline. When I heard this guy talk and give a speech about resigning, and when he didn't resign, I flipped out because nobody picked up on it. So the Democrats are now saying, hey, Al, because this was so hypocritical. And now remember, this whole process was laid to bear during Bill Clinton's time in office. Bill Clinton changed everything for Democrats. Now, I'm sure you're going to hear a bunch of people over there, not that it really matters anymore, but you're going to hear a bunch of people, about John. Look at this. The great John Conyers paid off a couple of women, but Al Franken, and there's pictures of him doing this stuff, and y'all are now saying that we rushed to judgment on him. You don't want him to resign, but John Conyers, a black man, has resigned. I'm beside myself with this stuff. I told you people that he was not going anywhere. Man, I wish I had an engineer and production staff that go back and pick out this stuff, and so I could play it for you, what I said about Franken. I'm not making this up. I called it. And I'm telling you right now, he's not going anywhere. Not anytime soon. And here, Politico.com finally picks up on this. With the call from Democrats now, a growing number of Democratic senators saying, hey, Al, why don't you hang around? You know what? We were hypocritical. We rushed to judgment. Isn't that what Democrats do anyway? They rush to judgment. So it looks good on their part. But Politico it finally gets it. And here's what they said. Franken's unusual timeline in his departure announcement, he said he'd go in the coming weeks without stating a date. Yeah, and this has fed the fleeting hopes that there's still time to reverse course. However, Tina Smith, Minnesota's Democratic lieutenant governor, was named last week as his appointed successor. So they've got a successor before he even steps down. I mean, they've given this guy everything that he wants to be able to quote unquote, legitimately reverse his decision. All right, look, like I say, it wouldn't be fair to the people of Minnesota to appoint the lieutenant governor of the state as my successor. I mean, she's doing a wonderful job as lieutenant governor, after all. And after all, I sincerely apologize for it was a different time back then. Hell, back when I did what I'm accused of doing and there's pictures of, Bill Clinton got away with it. That's the whole point about rush to judgment, folks. Bill Clinton did this. Bill Clinton did this his entire political career from what we know. Now, as far as I know, let's give Al Franken some credit. As far as I know, there hasn't been, I don't think there's any woman has come forward to say that Franken has raped them. But there have been women who came forward and accused Bill Clinton of rape. And the Democrats, they circled around Clinton and said, hey, I got to get back to work for the American people. Y'all got to cut out this nonsense and stop trying to lynch me. Remember that? I never had sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Of course, some people like me, took that to mean that he was telling Monica Lewinsky, "Hey, baby, I'm all for you. I'm loving you right now. No, I haven't had sexual relations with Hillary. That daughter of mine, Chelsea, I don't know where she came from. Because I never consummated with Hillary. Hillary's. Are you kidding me? Have you seen that woman? No." This whole notion that all of a sudden the Democrats, because the Democrats are filling their oats, by the way, They're feeling their oats, and now that they beat Moore down in Alabama, and they got Jones, and they flipped a seat. They flipped a seat they never thought they'd flip. Do people understand this? And now they're feeling their oats now, man. Because now they see hope. Oh, we could win the House in 2018. We might even be able to flip and win the Senate in 2018. Can you imagine? Other than what he can do on the executive side as far as regulations, can you imagine if Democrats controlled one or both houses of Congress for the last 2 years of Trump's first term? Nothing would get done. If you think it's bad now, folks, you just wait. That's why I'm imploring people all across the country. This is not, you just can't, and there are people voters that are upset because Trump hasn't gotten his agenda. Well, the reason why Trump hasn't gotten any part of his agenda passed so far isn't because of Donald Trump. It's because of the stupid a-holes that you people from your local districts send to Washington. Why isn't anybody else picking up on that too? I mean, they were against Donald Trump before he even took the oath of office. On November 9th, the deep state teamed up against Donald Trump like you would not believe. That's when everybody was in shock on November 8th. They were in shock because even the Republicans were expecting Hillary to be president. They were expecting to be the opposition party. And then they got Trump and they're like, oh shit, man. Well, this is not what we expected. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We can't have this. They lined up against him on November 9th once the shock of Hillary's loss wore off. And now people are getting upset. Voters are getting upset. Well, yeah, I'm upset too about it, but hey, you folks are the ones that voted for the jackasses that are now occupying Washington, D.C. Now, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Now, I know some people are saying, well, didn't you vote too? Yeah. But, I didn't vote for Mitch McConnell. I can't. Yeah, I didn't vote for, any of those. Hell, as far as the senators from my state, I didn't vote for either one of those females. So, frankly, and I didn't, my representative for my district, I didn't vote for her either. I just come to realize there's not a single person in Washington, D.C. that I voted for right now, except for Donald Trump. That's awful to think about. I didn't vote for the representative that out of New Hampshire. I didn't vote for either senator. I voted for their opponents. And yet I don't have any representation in my state down in Washington, D.C. That's pretty damn sad, actually, to think about. But you know what? The people of New Hampshire voted for them. And if this is what they want, this is what they're getting. But it's not just New Hampshire. You people send people like Mitch McConnell and Ryan and the whole lot to Washington, and you expect Trump all of a sudden to reverse all of that by himself? And then you people in Alabama, you go and make things even worse by giving him Jones to deal with instead of Moore. Because, we were just so upset that these allegations, which were fake and phony. Talk about rushing to judgment. This is ridiculous stuff. I got to take a break here. I'm past the time, folks. We'll be back.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon. We won a Cold War. And we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Away in a manger. At this time of year, this is it. At this stuff makes it even worse to happen at this time of year. It really does. There's a growing list. This is just unbelievable. The number of people that have been accused of sexual impropriety. Look, I'm not saying that most of it probably is absolutely dead accurate true. Not all of it. I don't believe all of it. But a lot of it, most of it is probably on most of these people that are being accused by multiple people. There's some truth to, there's probably some truth to more too, but not the way those women are saying it now. No, not way. No way.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge. This Monday morning, Monday, December number 18 in the year of our Lord 2017. Welcome to Liberty Lovers and Ecclesiastites all across the globe during this Christmas season. It is also Hanukkah, or depending on how you spell it, it could be Chanukah. Yes, indeed, it is that time of year. Jesus is the reason for the season. I make no bones about it. There's a car dealer around here that's their slogan. Car dealer. No bones about it. Anybody ever notice how sleazy car ads are? I mean, I shouldn't say sleazy. Cheesy is the better word. Local car, you probably have some good ones in your area. Local car ads on TV and on the radio. They're so cheesy. None of them make me want to go to any one of those places and buy a car. None of them. They're just so. I'm like, I can't believe these people. The worst. Well, it just. You got one that uses his mother. Another one has a. He's got a cartoon character of a caricature of himself that he uses in his ads. If you're familiar with the My Bob's Stores ads. Think of that as now instead of just what is he, well, I guess he's computer generated, but instead of that kind of animation, think of the old style cartoon stuff. Well, this guy has got that of himself. He's bald with a full beard, a full, manly man type of, hipster type of beard. But he's bald, and he looks like a leprechaun. And he's not short. He's not small at all. But that's the first thing that comes to mind. Now, in this area, he very well could have some Irish descent in him, heritage in him. But that's what he looks like. And he's got now picture a character version, a cartoon version of this guy. And they do commercials together for his dealership. Yeah, it's just cheesy. Well, obviously the cheesy stuff works. Because if it didn't work, they wouldn't still be doing it. But one of the car dealers, they're slow. Believe it or not, put a lot of thought into this one. Their slogan is "No bones about it." You're gonna get a good deal here. No bones about it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I won't be buying my next car from them. It's just too cheesy. They're awful. Well, local commercials tend to be pretty bad. Now, some of them are entertaining. I remember doing some promotional spots for some networks, some of the networks that broadcast this program, back in the day, and they were pretty cheesy. They were. I'm not gonna. Local stuff gets cheesy. I mean, and I did some spots for promotional spots for other programs and networks at the same. One of them, they really wanted me to do my impersonation of Obama. They wrote the script and I read it and as hey, this is Obama, and it was cheesy as hell. It was funny, but it was cheesy as hell. Now that the cheesy stuff is just getting cheesy without being funny. And that's when you know when you've outdone yourself, when you go the cheesy route and you're no longer funny. It's just cheesy for cheesy's sake. And that doesn't work. Not in my book. But hey, they it's their businesses. They can promote it any way they feel works for them. And obviously the cheesy commercials that aren't very funny anymore, or maybe our expectations are too high now because so many people are doing the cheesy stuff and trying to be funny that they're not funny. They're trying very hard to be funny. It used to be that they were just funny, but now they're just, because they didn't try very hard to be funny. They were just funny. Now everything is trying to be sold with humor and trying to be lighthearted, and most of it doesn't work. Most of it now just doesn't work. It's not, and some of it gets old fast. I mean, we're used to seeing commercials hang around, the same commercial being played over and over again for months on end. But now they just get old after you see them once or twice. You're like, oh, geez, this one again? Really? The imagination and it's probably because now you have advertising agencies. Their ability to get their message out is being fractured so much. Because it used to be that you only had, basically three places to advertise. Either it was in print, it was on television, or it was on radio. And there were three distinct styles of how you marketed to your target market back then, when all you had to worry about was print, television, and radio. And it was pretty easy to come up with something that was legit. I mean, some of the most iconic, commercials that we've ever had, it came out of, the television era of the Mad Men era of the 60s and 70s. We still remember them today. Have a Coke and a Smile, and I'd like to teach the world to sing. All this kind of iconic stuff. All throughout the 80s, too. But now it's getting more difficult to do. I mean, even the Super Bowl commercials have lost a lot of their luster. Past couple of years, Super Bowl commercials have been huge duds. Well, it's because now their attention has been taken away from the three main places to market, and now you've got to market on the internet and all this in alternative media. And what does that mean? Well, it means that now your print also has to be video, but video also has to be audio, and they're trying to combine all this stuff, and then they're trying to take what they're doing on the internet and put it on television or the radio, and it doesn't really work. Not to mention, you've got this group of people called millennials that I still don't really think that ad executives have been able to nail down yet. Because they're all over the place. Now, I know the demographic that they're going after, but I think they keep missing the mark. Well, probably because millennials they don't want to buy anything for themselves. They expect it all to be given to them. That's part of the. I don't know. How do you market to somebody who's expecting to get everything for free instead of having to pay for it? That's a real huge problem. They're not following the same. Millennials aren't following the same path that their parents took. In the baby boomers in the 60s, they were flower children, and then they grew up and sold out and became, the what did they call them back in the 80s? The dual income, no kids, and then yuppies when they had the kids. The baby boomers were anti-establishment. Then they became the biggest establishment the world has probably ever seen. So, is it any wonder we have people who think that the Al Franken thing is hypocritical? Well, in their mind, it's really not, because this is what they did. Their whole baby boomers' lives are hypocritical. I mean, think about it. I mean, they came on in the 60s and early 70s. They were the flower children. Peace, love, and understanding, man. Don't trust anyone over 30. It's not about money. And then when the 70s got really started and you had the disco fever with Saturday Night Fever and you got into the 80s and they became yuppies and dinks, dual income, no kids, they were the complete they were worse than their parents. They became the complete opposite of what they rallied and railed against in the 60s. Now, the problem is that, yes, baby boomers finally grew up. The problem is, the reason why they're having such a hard time with millennials is because so many of them have not yet grown up. And they're starting to approach 40. And what you have, these ad execs are still from the old school. That they head up all these wonderful ad companies, big and small. They're from the old school, and they can't seem to nail down the millennial because a millennial hasn't grown up. How do you get somebody to buy a car if they don't want to own one? If they think that the car is destroying the planet? If they're going to, seriously, how do you sell a car to that kind of a person? It becomes it's not impossible, it becomes very difficult. And how do you take that message across the platforms that they view most often? How do you catch it? Because, how easy it is to just you're watching YouTube, you got commercials, after 4 or 5 seconds, you can skip the ad. And that's what everybody's waiting for. I know when I'm watching YouTube, I do. I look at that little button down there in the corner, and as soon as it says you can skip ad now, that's when I skip it. I'm not paying attention to the ad. So how do you get people's attention like that? They're not hitting the mark. So they're trying this overly cheesy stuff on a local and a national level, and it's falling flat. Most times it falls flat. It really does. I don't even know why I even got started on that, but they need to change their well. Let's face it, the millennials don't have a lot of money anyway, right? Isn't that what we're told? Well, I mean, half of them are broke or in debt over their heads. But if they work for Silicon Valley anywhere in the country, then they're overpaid. They make a lot of money, but they still haven't really grown up. They're not. They're definitely not their baby boomer parents. They may have gotten the liberal notion from their baby boomer parents, but as far as growing up and becoming, fully functional, responsible adults, it hasn't really happened very much. This is probably the babyish generation the planet has ever seen. Now, there is some good news. It looks like, no, we're not sure yet, but it looks like Generation Z, those who are currently 17 and younger, those born in 2000, 2000, looks like they're going in the opposite direction of their older siblings. They may grow up sooner. Let's keep our fingers crossed on that. But just to give you an example about how these people don't grow up, because their feelings are so easily hurt. Twitter. Now, folks, you're about to take a hit on Twitter. You're about to take a huge hit on Twitter. Me too, probably. I don't expect to survive my Twitter account to survive through next year. I really don't. And here's why. Beginning today, Twitter is going to enforce new rules that will suspend accounts affiliated with so-called hate groups on and off the platform, targeting so-called alt-right accounts. Initially announced back in November, Twitter will also start penalizing accounts that include hateful imagery and hateful display names. Now, some people are saying presumably this would include things like the Nazi insignia, and those who use a username or display name or profile bio to engage in abusive behavior. Now, a lot of this so-called abusive behavior has been directed towards millennial Democrats who easily have their feelings hurt because they haven't grown up. So the enforcement deadline has come, and this is the day that a lot of people on the so-called alt-right, if you're on the right, you might find yourself off of Twitter. I'm not joking for you folks. I'm not joking. This is a full-fledged story. It's out there. Now, to be sure, Twitter does not explicitly mention the alt-right or neo-Nazi groups in the rules, but it's a new policy more broadly seeks to outlaw specific threats of violence or wish for the serious harm, death, or disease of an individual or group of people. Are they going to eliminate liberal, Democrat, millennial accounts to do the same thing? Because I see a lot of that on their side. And saying despicable things, accusing people of pedophilia. I mean, there's a guy the only person I've ever blocked on any social media came out of Twitter. Because when I complained and showed them the post, Twitter responded, "Oh, well, this is no big deal." No big deal? We're in the midst of all this sexual allegation stuff, and you get this guy who I don't know, never met, never heard of before, out of the blue, accuses me of pedophilia. Are you kidding me? That's no big deal? Yeah, it is a big deal. But hey, I'm on the right, and this guy was a full-blown, full-fledged millennial liberal. So he gets the pass. So, folks, I'm being honest here. I don't foresee my account on Twitter lasting without being hit by Twitter. The entire I'll probably be gone in 2018 on Twitter. I'm not joking. And there might be you might see some big people who also disappear from Twitter. Now they won't limit the president, but people like Sean Hannity, he may not last 2018 either. Don't doubt me.
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
It is to ride a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, bluegrass jingle bells. Welcome back, folks. It's time now for our Christmas song of the hour, and this is by a group called Low, L-O-W, and the title is Just Like Christmas. Just Like Christmas from the group Low, L-O-W. You can check them out online. I think it's lowmusic.com or low.com, one of the two. I think it's lowmusic.com. Check them out. I'm not exact, when they sent me the email, they didn't make it. See, this is why I hate when people aren't clear. I'm trying to give them some free publicity, and they can't be clear about it. But, hey, millennials. They can never be clear about anything, but it is a cute song. It was very well done, and that is Just Like Christmas from the group Low. When we get back, we're just about take another break, and this hour is just flying by. When we get back, we're talking. Hey, did you hear about what's happening with the NFL? And no, I'm not talking about Tom Brady and the Pittsburgh Steelers and New England Patriots yesterday. Evidently, there's some controversy behind a call that gave the game to the Patriots. I don't know. I didn't watch it. Not really interested, but okay, that's what I'm hearing. That's the scuttlebutt so far. But no, there's something else that you probably might be excited to hear. Maybe not. But if you like football, you might be excited.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye. I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? What's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents, which leads to millions killed in shelters each year. Turns out, those little cuties can get pregnant sooner than you think. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. When you bring home a pet, get them fixed at 4 months old. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event!
Promises to one's community.
Healthy people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late, we stay informed, we invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle,
None are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Carol of the Bells. Welcome back, folks. Hey, if you are like me and you like football and you kind of miss the NFL, because obviously a lot of people have turned off the NFL this past year because of the controversy with it. Now, there's a couple of things happening out there. One. The Charlotte Observer is reporting that the Panthers, the Carolina Panthers owner Ron Rivera, got himself embroiled in all this sexual harassment kind of stuff, and that he has decided, and evidently some of it might be actually provable. He's come up with it. It shocked everybody. He's the NFL is investigating some of these charges, but instead of going through this whole process, he's decided that at the conclusion of the 2017 season, which ends with this, well, actually it doesn't end with the Super Bowl, it ends with the Pro Bowl, that first weekend in February. But at that particular point in time, he's going to put the Panthers up for sale. Now, it's probably going to fetch some ridiculous price, but hey, if you want to buy an NFL football team, or get in on it, this may be the time. According to Charlotte Observer, Carolina Panthers owner Jerry Richardson issued a bombshell statement on Sunday night and said that he will put the team up for sale at the conclusion of the 2017 NFL season. Sports Illustrated, this came shortly after Sports Illustrated report outlined allegations of sexual and racial misconduct by Richardson towards former Panthers employees. Now, I don't know why it was racial, considering Cam Newton loves the guy. And Cam Newton is black, by the way, for people who don't know. But if you're sick and tired of all this stuff going on with the NFL, now we're getting football players are getting and owners are getting embroiled in this sexual stuff. But the big problem obviously came with the NFL players, a bunch of overpaid, wealthy people hating on America by disrespecting the flag, disrespecting the country, disrespecting our military, disrespecting the fans by kneeling or locking arms during the national anthem. Well, you may not have to put up with it for too much longer. Anybody remember the XFL? Yeah. Well, the scuttlebutt is, the rumor has it that the good old XFL may be coming back. Yeah, McMahon, who's the Vince McMahon, who's been the head of and the big guy behind the WWE, but back when he started the XFL, it was called the WWF, and they went through a whole legal battle with World Wrestling Federation versus World Wildlife Fund. And World Wildlife Fund, because they were using WWF long before WWE came along, McMahon lost that and lost it in appeal. So they had to change their name, and he went from WWF to WWE. Creative, I know. But McMahon was a very wealthy man, by the way. People don't realize this. Professional wrestling is big, huge business. The guy is extremely wealthy. And he is thinking about bringing back the no-holds-barred football league called the XFL. Now, the rumor is just rumors right now, but of a potential return of the XFL has surfaced. Brad Shepard was reporting that McMahon is looking to bring back the NFL and may announce it on January 25th. When asked to confirm or deny a potential XFL reboot, David Bixenspan, 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 of Deadspin.com said, Vince McMahon has established and is personally funding a separate entity from WWE called Alpha Entertainment to explore investment opportunities across the sports and entertainment landscape, including professional football. Mr. McMahon has nothing further to announce at this time. Well, could be that, in a couple of years, if he's really serious about this and he brings it back, I mean, he's already got, anybody remember the USFL? Remember that one? And the NFL was convicted, I guess. They were accused of colluding to get rid of the USFL, and they awarded $1 per year or something. It was a ridiculous pay. I mean, the NFL should have been brought to their knees back then for doing what they did, and we probably wouldn't be having the problem that we have now with the NFL. But I think now the rising from the ashes, if you will, of the old XFL might be perfect timing. Look, I know a lot of these sports leagues think that they kind of have a monopoly on stuff, but they think that they're it. That they can't be taken out. There can be no competition. I'm sorry to say, we probably need another professional football league. I'm not talking about arena football either. That's not the same thing as regular football. It's a different type of game. But what we need is we definitely need a new football league. Maybe what McMahon should do is he should get together with some of the old USFL owners, along with some of the old XFL owners, and come up with a legitimate, real, old-fashioned football league. Maybe even team up with the Canadian Football League up north, because they play before the NFL plays, because it gets too damn cold to play in the middle of winter up in Canada. But maybe they should team up with the Canadian Football League at the same time, some sort of North American Football League. I bet you this is the time to strike for that right now. They would probably get a lot of fans who I remember watching some USFL games, and I thought it was pretty, we got some good players that came over to the NFL after the USFL folded. And now with all the alternative methods, because back then it was just, all you had was television broadcasting. That was it. And the NFL cornered that market. They can't do that today. They cannot do that today. And I am sure that there are networks out there that would be more than happy to be able to broadcast alternatives to the NFL. Might be a good time. I'll keep an eye on that one. I'd be happy to see it. Hell, if I had the money, I'd go and invest in it. But so we'll keep an eye on that one. Let you know what happens early next year, January 25th. Speaking of keeping an eye, do you realize this is something that it was over the weekend and I saw this, and this really had me fired up. We're talking now about a lot of this, this illegal surveillance with the FISA courts and everything, especially on Donald Trump and how Obama and the Obama administration now might be embroiled in this stuff. And I know it's just pissing off a lot of Americans. Because there's no way in hell that people should be able to get away. Nobody in the deep state should be getting away with this. But of course it was Democrat. And now if this is all this stuff was reversed, if it were Republicans, you better believe there'd be Watergate style hearings going on now. we'd have at least half a dozen special prosecutors and having special investigators out there. If it were Republican-based, we definitely would. The reason why you don't see more than just Mueller right now is because, one, the information that he seems to be digging up inadvertently points the fingers at Democrats. They can't have that. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is the whole sexual, hypocritical thing that Manchin was talking about. Yeah, it's the same. It's not just there. But I'm not talking about the federal level now. Now we've got to worry about individual state governments doing this. The news was broken by the Weekly Standard. Wisconsin, of all places. On May 23rd, the Wisconsin Department of Justice received a call from the State Ethics Board. An employee rummaging around in the basement of the building had found a filing cabinet full of material from the now defunct John Doe investigations into the state's Republican then Governor Scott Walker and his supporters. The Wisconsin DOJ was investigating the illegal 2016 leak to The Guardian of confidential details from investigators, and in January it had ordered that all John Doe records be turned over immediately. Yet this unexpected trove appeared 4 months later. The new evidence included 3 hard drives, 10 optical disk drives, a thumb drive, and paper files which contained nearly 500,000 private emails and text messages. They were all collected from Republican political aides and staffers between 2009 and 2012. Among the millions of pages were discussions of the most personal nature, Wisconsin GOP staffers talking with family members about illnesses, helping friends through precarious relationships, and discussing money troubles with their spouses, not knowing the government bureaucrats were monitoring their discussions. Some of this stuff revealed that there were sensitive passwords in Gmail accounts. Others sent pictures of themselves trying on clothes to friends and asked how they looked. Many of these messages were filed in a folder marked Opposition Research. Folks, this is the state of Wisconsin. Oh, golly gee, now, really? Wisconsin! This whole go around with Donald Trump is obviously not the first time the Democrats have done. They tried this with Scott. Remember that? Have you people forgotten, what happened to Governor Scott? Or Scott Walker? Yeah, they tried to push this guy out of office over trumped up garbage that really came back to bite them because some of it was really about them who were doing the accusing. And in order to try to prove their point and prove their case, they went out there and started spying on Wisconsin citizens. And when the Wisconsin DOJ demanded they turn over all the evidence that they had, they evidently didn't turn it all over. And this happened back in May, and guess when we're finding out about it? Now! Months later. This is as bad as when Uber announced, hey, by the way, about a year ago, y'all had your information stolen by a hacker. We jump all over private companies. Remember when Target waited? I mean, they were talking about fining Target and, criminal charges against some people in Target for not informing people sooner that their account information had been stolen. Remember that a few years ago? Well, the government constantly does this, especially the left. Hey, you're ordered to turn all this stuff over to us. And then, months later, we forgot about something. We forgot about this, forgot about that. And then we don't hear about that until months later. Hillary Clinton in the emails? Anybody? I'm surprised that this stuff was still sitting around in a filing cabinet and somebody didn't get rid of it. They didn't bleach bit it or something. Folks, they had over 500,000 private emails and text messages collected from one political party participants, Republicans. And it was even labeled in the file opposition research. Didn't we hear that about Donald Trump, by the way? The so-called dossier, Trump dossier, was titled opposition research. They filed it under opposition research. See, this isn't illegal. This is opposition research. This is, look, these, I'm sorry, I know I keep pounding on this, folks, but you got to understand this. You cannot keep electing the same people in your state and at the federal level over and over and over again and expect any of this stuff to go away. They are not, the government isn't supposed to be collecting this kind of stuff. Remember, we're told this is metadata. There is no personal taglines to your information that they're collecting. It seems to me that if you're collecting and keeping people's pictures, that's pretty damn personal. Not only do they got a name attached to it, but now they got a face too. You can't keep electing these same jackasses. Enough is enough. And I am damn sure that Wisconsin is not the only state that is doing this. I bet you if anybody were to ever come forward, we'd probably see a humongous mess out there in California and New York State. I mean, it's probably, what they probably have done in New York and California would probably make this Trump dossier thing look like, tiddlywinks. Folks, this is beyond the pale. We are no longer in the United States of America as it was founded. Not just Obama. The Democrats have completely and totally and utterly changed the foundation of this country. It is now at the point where you, the average citizen, simply because you don't agree with Democrats, you are now the enemy of the state. Do you understand that? They will collect information on you for as long as they need to discredit you and to throw you in jail or throw you out of politics. This is exactly why Judge Roy Moore would not get out of the race, because this is what he knew. You have all these sexual allegations that are being put forth by Democrats, brought forth by Democrats. It is the nuclear weaponization of sexual assault. Hey, you even got some people on our side like Ben Shapiro. Hey, the allegations, they sound legitimate, so you need to get out. That's a bunch of bullshit. The left is out there collecting data on each and every one of us. And they're just waiting for the perfect time to use it against us. And trust me, most of the time they will twist it so it looks like we're the bad guy. Oh, hey, we don't even stop to think about it. Hey, wait a minute. How did you find out about this kind of stuff? Oh, opposition research. Opposition research my ass. It's called illegal!
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, But now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. You know, there's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people. You suck.
Now, folks, let me be fair about this now. If anything, I'm all about the truth and fairness. Real fairness, not the supposed fake Democratic Party fairness. No, I'm about real fairness. This FISA court came into being back in the 70s? Correct me if I'm wrong. It's got a longer history than G.W. Bush and 9/11. 2001. And a lot of people think this is when FISA actually started. It's not. It's been around longer. And both Democratic and Republican presidents have utilized this thing to our detriment, by the way. The Constitution no longer means anything to these people. It means nothing. And they will use the excuse, well, we're trying to protect and save our way of life. No, they're not. Because you do not save freedom by imprisoning a free people. It's not the way it works. Our way of life is about our privacy as individuals and freedom from over government. Regulation and rules. And what we've gotten instead is with the notion, well, we're just trying to keep you safe. No. People who give up a little bit of freedom for a little bit of safety will have neither, and indeed deserve neither. You want to know who's more dangerous than Islamic terrorists right now? Our own government. We can see and prevent terrorists from coming. How do you prevent your own government from bringing the hammer down on any one of us at any time they damn well please, and using the full weight and force of the government to get rid of us? Simply because they don't like us. And you know what? All they'll turn around and do it and say, hey, it's legal because we got the FISA court. And by the way, it's only opposition research.
It was just another quiet Saturday at the Johnson home.
Honey, have you seen the hammer?
It's in the garage.
Oh, no, not the garage.
Later that same day...
Dad, I can't find the bicycle pump.
Son, I'm afraid it's in the garage.
The garage?
Then the following Tuesday...
Howard, where's the car?
It's in the garage.
Does your garage look like a giant yard sale without the yard? Do you cringe at the thought of entering your garage? Then you need Crest Garage Cabinets. With one phone call, those wonderful folks at Crest will come out to your home, design the best combination of cabinets for you, and install them quickly and professionally before your very eyes.
It's a miracle.
And unlike other companies who ask for a down payment or money up front, you won't pay a penny until your Crest cabinets are installed to your satisfaction. So call Crest today, toll-free at 1-800-548-2848. That's 1-800-548-2848. And you'll never fear going into your garage again.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare.
I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine. It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals, because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Rod Eccles. Yes, indeed. Welcome back. It is I, your lovable host, Elrod, coming to you live from the bunkerized studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. Yes, it is hour number 3 already here on the program, the fastest 3 hours on internet talk radio. I can't believe the 2 hours are gone already. 2 hours in the can already. If you missed any part of the first 2 hours, you're going to want to get the podcast later and listen to it. I'm just saying, folks, it's got some great stuff that was said over the past couple of hours. Now, coming up, by the way, we have our Christmas song coming up at the bottom of the hour, as well as today's holidays. They're kind of interesting holidays today. You're going to want to listen for those. Now, we've got this whole FISA thing going on. Can you stop playing that now, please? Thank you, Mr. Switchboard. Thank you. We've got this whole FISA thing going on with the FISA courts and the Democrats especially. And it's not just Democrats. It's not just Democrats. But Democrats are using this stuff and now we've got a new label for it. There's a new label for spying on American citizens. It's a new word, not a new word, but a new title. It's called opposition research. Now, all of a sudden, that's okay now. Hey, we're just doing opposition research. We're gathering all this intel, all this private intel on all of these citizens because it's opposition research. Now it's not just the person who's actually in politics running for office that's fair game. All of us are. Especially if you're a right-winger. Now it's so bad now that now we're called alt-right. The alt-right. If you are not Mitch McConnell, old-style, JFK Democrat, today's moderate type of person, now you're alt-right. If you're a Christian, you're alt-right. If you're a Hasidic Jew, you're alt-right. And they even toss in people who have no business being on the right and calling them alt-right because they're ashamed of them being on the left. You know, like the KKK and neo-Nazis. Now, Frank, come on, people. Nazism is a leftist ideal. It's fascism. That's leftist. How the hell is it that Twitter and everybody else on the left is going to label not neo-Nazis alternate right? They're the ultimate lefties. They're the ultimate of the left. You know what's next? The left in this country is going to start saying that Putin is right-leaning. He's a communist. He's still a communist. Right, yeah. So a communist is going to try to team up with an alt-right Donald Trump. Really? Obviously, Trump is on the opposite side of what Putin wants. Why the hell would Putin want him in office? None of this makes any sense. And then you start peeling. This is like, you know, the good old onion thing. That Shrek said, onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Well, we're peeling back the onion skin on this one, man. And this is just layer after layer after layer. And most of the damn layers are full of Democrats. And what are they doing it for? They're saying they're doing it to keep us safe, to protect our country and our way of life. Really? Then why aren't they closing the border? Building the wall, refusing to let unvetted refugees into our country? Why, if they're trying to save us, why the hell aren't they taking those obvious, routes? Why do they go after anybody who really does want to protect us and save us? Look what they've done to Sheriff Joe Arpaio. All he did was uphold the law, the current law. He didn't make any new laws. All he did was uphold the law, and they went after him. Full force. Hey, let's build a wall. Let's protect our citizens from... No. That's racist, Donald Trump. Hey, you want to kill an American citizen even though you've been caught, like 20 times crossing the border illegally? No big deal. We won't convict you for murder, says California. But hell, you even, if you're not a law enforcement, even if you are a law enforcement officer, and you all of a sudden do something that might be slightly construed as being, targeting and illegal, and all of a sudden you're brought up on charges of racism and civil rights violations and all kinds of other things. This is just, and this is all for our safety. Folks, don't buy into it. Do you know how vulnerable this country is? And we're vulnerable simply because we've got a bunch of politicians that we keep electing won't do their jobs. They won't follow the Constitution and they won't do their jobs. Did you hear? Now, I don't know why this was not such huge news. It was not huge news. I mean, maybe because I don't watch network news, but you would have thought that this would have been breaking in everywhere. The world's Atlanta airport. It's called the world's busiest airport, the Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta International Airport. Called the busiest airport in the world. Now, I thought Heathrow was busier, but evidently Atlanta is busier than Heathrow. Okay. I mean, I can see why it might be. I'm not going to doubt that designation. But the busiest airport on the planet was completely and totally shut down on Sunday. For about 12 hours. Oh, you didn't know? Well, folks, let me learn you something here on this. Now, we've got the Atlanta mayor out there. What's this guy's name? Kasim Reed. And before you get all up in arms, no, he's not a Middle Eastern Muslim. He's a black guy. Now, I don't know what his religious affiliation is. You can't really go by first names now, especially in the black community, because they're just all they're made up, and they take names from other different cultures and combine them and make them into their own, and you never know. So I don't know what, but it's irrelevant what his religious affiliation is. But Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed was out there giving an apology. Do you realize Delta Airlines alone canceled 300 flights? 300. And people were caught on air. Do you realize they would not let people off of planes? They couldn't fly. They couldn't take off. There was no power. So instead of getting these people off these planes, well, Rod, they couldn't, they couldn't move all the things, the ramps. It's called getting people the old-fashioned way, where you take those stairs that are on a truck and you move them over there. They still have those out there, by the way. They have them. But they wouldn't let people off the planes. This evidently, and I don't know why. Folks, do you realize that our airports, a major part of our infrastructure, they have no backup power generation system? Evidently, Atlanta doesn't. And one of the 3 sub-power stations caught fire. Do you realize also, this is something that I just realized, that in the vast majority of our substations and power stations, they don't have any sort of fire suppression system or emergency suppression system at all. Evidently, what they're saying is a fire caused the power outage at the substation, which then cascaded into a complete and almost total power failure at the airport, shutting it down. There was no backup. Don't you think that's one of the things that probably should have a redundancy system? I mean, hell, we got people and businesses all over the country that have backup systems. It's these power generators, emergency generators. Hospitals have them. We're forced in many places by code to have certain fire detection and fire suppression systems put in buildings and homes across the country. The power stations don't have to have it. Oh, wow, that would add too much to the cost. Really? Oh, so you and I can pay for it in our own private businesses and buildings. We can pay for all that garbage because it's, hey, public safety. I think an airport probably has a big need for public safety, don't you? How easy is it now to take out one of these places? Well, maybe the FBI and other agencies have prevented a lot of this stuff that we don't know about. But I'm surprised there has not been some sort of coordinated attack on multiple power systems and grids in this country, because it's so easy to take out. It would shut down so much. Now, of course, some people think, Rod, don't say that. Look, we're the only idiots who aren't thinking about it. Trust me, the enemy has already thought about it. This is not new. This is not groundbreaking. This is not top secret stuff. We can't hide it, and we can't hide from it. Folks, the Atlanta airport for half a day was completely silent. The world's busiest airport was nearly and totally, utterly shut down. And that's not a huge story. That's not breaking news. That's not this just in, with the good old, radio DJ voiced anchor on television holding the earpiece in his ear as he's trying to get more information. I didn't see that breaking in at all. Nowhere. Where was that news? We got to keep that on the down low, Rod. You can't talk about that too much. They can talk about it in Atlanta, but the rest of the country doesn't need to know. That airport affects every other airport in this country. Delta Airlines alone canceled 300 flights. And the mayor wants to say, first and most importantly, what I wanted to say is I was to express my sincere apologies to the thousands of passengers. You know what? No, hold on. I got to do it exactly the way he said it. Now, folks, pay attention to this. Word for word as he's quoted. First and most importantly, I was to express my sincere apologies to the thousands of passengers whose day has been disrupted in this manner. We certainly understand that the outage has caused frustration and anger, and we're doing everything that we can to get folks back home right away. All these folks were going home? Every one of them? And I was to express my sincere, in other words, past tense, you were going to express it, so you're not expressing it now? People's day has been disrupted? I'm sorry, folks. You gotta be kidding me on this. I just can't with this mess.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
One thing you have to understand, folks, is the Atlanta airport going down just doesn't affect airports all across the country, but it affects airports all across the world. I just can't reiterate how bad that is. I mean, imagine you're sitting, I don't know, let's just say you're sitting in Italy, and your plane's going to take off, and you're going to be. How about you're already in the air flying to Atlanta? Well, you can't land there. You can't land. You got to go somewhere else. How about you sitting there in Italy on the plane? Well, why aren't we taking off? Because the Atlanta airport that we're going to is down. So that means everybody in Italy's got to get off the plane. No matter where you are in Europe, you know, one of the airports you're going to come to is Atlanta. Well, let's get to today's the final song, Christmas song this morning from a group called Slow Club. Yes, Slow Club, and it's called "Christmas Baby, Please Come Home." Slow Club with their version of Christmas Baby, Please Come Home. No, it is a cover. You know, you got it right. It's a cover, and it's a very good one at that. A good one by the group Slow Club. Today's holidays, quickly. The holidays for today. It is Arabic Language Day. I'll let you do with that as you want. It is also Flake Appreciation Day. No, not as in Democrats, but as in snowflake. Snowflake. How do you celebrate today? Go out and make those paper snowflakes that you used to make when you were back in elementary school. It's also Bake Cookies Day. So how do you celebrate? Bake cookies. It is also International Migrants Day. Oh, good grief. It is also, this is something that good old PETA people are going to hate. It is National Roast Suckling Pig Day. Roast the whole pig. Hawaiians must hate Hawaiians. Liberals must hate Hawaiians. It is also National Ham Salad Day to go along with National Roast a Suckling Pig Day. And it is National Wear a Plunger on Your Head Day. Don't do that, by the way. Don't celebrate that day. But if somebody's wearing a plunger on their head, then you know why. And finally, it is also Answer the Phone Day. But how do you answer the phone? Well, you answer the phone like Buddy the Elf. That is today's holiday. Answer the phone like Buddy the Elf. Who comes up with this stuff, really? But anyway, those are your holidays for today, December 18. Buddy the Elf Day.
You might be surprised to learn who has Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Nearly 1 in 200 Americans are suffering with the debilitating pain and constant disruption of these inflammatory bowel diseases, or IBD. Chances are you know someone with IBD. For example, your neighbor or coworker. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation was created to help patients cope and to find a cure. People with IBD can't wait. Won't you help someone you know? Visit www.escapethestall.com today.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. But most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? Shifting to a system based on primary care can help fix the problem. Patients with a primary care doctor live longer, healthier lives and are less likely to suffer from cancer, heart disease, or stroke. Primary care that is comprehensive and coordinated also saves money. Patients who have a primary care doctor spend 30% less on health care than patients who don't. States with a high number of primary care doctors have lower health care costs and higher quality care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will you listen to?
Jeffrey.
Ah!
Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here? You're getting older. Not that old. Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain. Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye? I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
As I said earlier today, Donald Trump can't do all of this changing of the government all by himself. He needs the assistance, the help of other elected officials, which he's not getting a whole hell of a lot of help. And the reason is because of what we call the deep state. There are some 2 million career staffers in the federal government, in the executive branch of the federal government. And many of them are actively, covertly, and overtly opposing the president. Well, here's a report. This is from Bloomberg, of all people. Washington bureaucrats are chipping away at Trump's agenda. Across the government, career staffers are quietly finding ways to continue old policies, sometimes simply by just renaming an old continuing project. The National for an example, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the NOAA, kept saying the same thing over and over again. Climate change is real, serious, and it's all man-made, which is all a bunch of BS and bunk, and we know it. But they keep saying it, even though Trump has called global warming a hoax. His political appointees at the Commerce Department, which oversees the NOAA, have complained to its staff, but stopped short of demanding changes or altering the findings. So the reports, the blogs, the public updates keep flowing. So Bloomberg writes, the bureaucrats have won. Well, how do you start firing people who don't listen to you? It's called insubordination. These people don't have a corner on the truth. In fact, they don't even know what the truth is. They wouldn't know the truth if it came up and smacked them upside the head with a brick. You know, they blame. You could probably shoot a brick at them. Now, I'm not saying don't do this. Don't actually throw bricks at people. But you could throw a brick at somebody, and they would, knowing that a human did, and they would blame climate change on it. Not, folks. Look, they've already tried saying that the Middle East, the reason why the Middle East is on fire, is because of climate change. Not because of centuries of distrust and discord in the region, but because of man-made climate change. Remember when Obama said one of the reasons is because the young people in like Egypt don't have jobs. So we here in the United States have got to make sure that they have jobs. It's not their political beliefs that cause the whole upheaval. It's because they don't have jobs. So just like the NOAA, they wouldn't, if they got hit by bricks, they wouldn't say it's due to somebody. Well, they might blame an individual if they're an alternate right winger. But they would say that the reason why you threw the brick at them is due to climate change. Man-made climate change made you throw the brick. So everything coming out of the NOAA does not reflect this administration, said David Schnare, Schnare, a retired lawyer for an industry-backed think tank who served on Trump's transition team and is skeptical about climate change himself. It reflects, he says, everything about the last administration. For 8 years, Obama has been able to put in place hard-line, die-hard leftists. Now, Trump has to weed them out, but he can't do it in a year. But at the same time, he probably could make it a little bit easier if he just made it an edict and a verdict and said, look, you don't follow what I'm telling you to do, then you're going to be gone. It's called insubordination, disobeying an order. What happens if you disobey your boss at work, at your job? Well, if you don't get fired, you're at least going to be in some severe trouble. Severe reprimand, maybe a demotion. Most likely, though, if the act is if it's continuous action, or if it's bad enough, you're going to be fired. These government people, no, we can disobey the president all we want. Nothing's going to happen to us because we're the government. We're government employees. They all need to be fired. I have said this time and time again. Trump should be walking down the halls of every single bureaucratic office, walking down the halls and just pointing his finger and saying, "You're fired. You're fired. You're fired." Just get them out. Now, I realize you can't fire, nearly 2 million people all at once, but they can be replaced. You put in key people. You start firing the key people who aren't paying attention to you, and you put in people who will pay attention to you, who want the job, who understand what the job is, who probably don't look at it as a career, but will at least pay attention to what the chief executive is saying and make those policy changes in their organizations. This is look, even some of the people that he's appointed that are in the cabinet level, they're not following Trump. Yeah, to this day, I don't understand. And now, maybe someday he will reveal it. Maybe he's got a strategy. I doubt it, but maybe he does. I don't know. Can't say. But one of the biggest disappointments has been Jeff Sessions. And I am sure that the president is highly disappointed too. But unlike business, I get the fact that unlike a regular, if this were all back at Trump Tower in the Trump organization, Sessions would have been fired already. He'd been gone. And I understand it's not that easy to do that in politics, at least not yet. It should be that easy, but it's not. And I understand that he's disappointed. So my only thing is maybe that there is some alternative plan that we just aren't privy to. I hope that's the case. Somehow I seriously doubt it, but I still, I have hope. Hope! I'm keeping hope alive. Keep hope alive that Sessions got an alternate plan. He's going to bring everybody down on the Democrat side. Keep hope alive. I hope that's the case. I hope that he's got something up his sleeve to take down Mueller and all those wonderful people that are trying to take down the president with lies and innuendos. I love that. I love that they do that. Yeah, it's just this beautiful thing. So I hope Sessions has got a plan to do that. I hope we get to see some Democrats, frog and perp walked. Frog march and perp walk. I hope. I keep hope. Now, never going to see Hillary Clinton being frog marched or perp walked down in anywhere. Yeah, seriously, we'll never see it. I don't think we'll ever see it. Some of her minions, I hope that we'll see some of them. You know, that's more doable. But if you've got this problem with these people that just don't listen to you, then that's insubordination. And that insubordination is grounds for in every state. I don't care if you're right to work state or not. And if you live in one of those overly bureaucratic states where you've got to show every little nuanced reason for you being fired without the company being sued, insubordination is one of the legitimate reasons in all 50 states for a person to be fired. You don't pay attention. You're not doing your job. You're not doing the job as it's told to you to do. And if you're not going to do your job, then you can't work there. That's legit in every state. All over the world, don't do your job, you get fired. So insubordination, even in the government, it takes a little bit longer to get rid of people, but if you don't do your job in the government, they can get rid of you too. And it has happened. So, I mean, but it's going to take people with some guts and backbone. And it's going to take having a Congress who will back the president, who won't try to block him. So in 2018, look, this is my whole theme for 2018 coming up. Electing true Americans. Not swamp monsters, but true Americans. Maybe we should come up with a slogan. I need to come up with a slogan, I guess. I don't know. You got any ideas for a slogan? But we got to come up with a slogan so people understand that they need to elect real Americans, not swamp monsters. You know, Trump has got MAGA, Make America Great Again, and drain the swamp. I get, but the problem is that the president can't drain it all by himself. Swamp is huge. We got to be a filter as well. The American people, the people who elect these monsters have got to learn how to filter ourselves. We need to send him reinforcements in 2018. Otherwise, all is lost, folks. Donald Trump has given us a short reprieve. But unless you send him help and unless you reelect him in 2020, all is lost still. We're not nowhere near are we out of the woods. He's giving us a reprieve from some of this stuff. But let me tell you something. You know how easy it is just to re-regulate all the regulations that he got rid of and is getting rid of? Pretty damn easy. All it takes is one president to come in office and say, yep, just reverse everything. That's all it takes. This is also why Congress needs to take back their legitimate constitutional power and get rid of some of these regulators. This is ridiculous. But this is not going to happen so long as we have these people in offices who are disobeying the president, just like the NOAA. He says I don't believe in man-made global climate change. The science isn't there. It has been proven to be, wrong. That science is proven to be wrong. It's made up of fake data. They've even admitted faking the data numerous times. So stop using it. And what do these people do? Well, screw the president. We're still going to say it. And they're still spewing proven to be wrong data. That's what they're still using. It's made up data. They're not actually they're using computer generated models, not actual reality and climate reality. They're not actually using it. They're still using, the model says, the model said that we'd be a burning ball of fire by now. This was the end. We passed the end date, according to Al Gore. We're done. We should be toast. But their models still say that we're doomed. But the reality is the actual climate is saying, well, no, not really, not doomed yet. Not even close. Ocean levels aren't rising. No. Models say that they're rising. If you followed the models, New York City, the entire east and west coast should be, the coastlines all across the globe should be underwater right now. New York City, Manhattan should be underwater. But it's not. That's what the model said. And they're still using it. And then Trump is saying, knock it off with this crap. And they're ignoring him. Well, this stuff is got to change. The only way you change it is by electing more people that will back the president and the American people who believe in the Constitution and want to do the right thing. I have, can I be honest here? I have hope that we can right this ship. But everything I've seen, even especially since the election of Donald Trump, is telling me we may never do it.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
That there's a this stuff is just hilarious. It is so hilarious. The winter, as I mentioned at the start of the show this morning, climate change hit Winter Olympics preparation. Yes. Athletes, the athletes have. This is from the AP, by the way. Half-hour commute to the Swiss Alps, up 2 gondolas, and then through a tunnel in the world's highest underground train to a glacier at 11,000 feet up, served up daily grim reminders that global warming is threatening their line of work. Yeah, their line of work is being in the Olympics. After exiting the train, they squelched through a field of grayish mud to reach shrinking snowfields scarred by new crevasses. Occasionally they heard the sharp roars of glacial ice breaking off in monster chunks, then echoing across the peaks and valleys where they trained jumps, tricks, and turns for the Pyongyang Olympics. Most days they basked in brilliant snow-melting sunshine that bathed the whole scene in deceptive beauty, because man-made global climate change has come to the Alps and is melting the snow. Now, if you ask people in the know in the Alps, have you ever heard stories of the snow melting in the Alps? And they'll all tell you, yeah, it's happened before. Yeah, my great-granddaddy talked about the Alps. It was there was no snow in that particular Matterhorn. 1 year. But hey, again, forget about all the actual reality on the ground climate. Let's just go with our models, because that's more accurate than what our eyes are seeing and what history has recorded. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm all for that. So, hey, folks, what they're trying to tell you is that the Winter Olympics themselves is in danger of being permanently canceled because of global... is the planet heating up? I don't think so, but, especially if you consider the polar ice caps are growing. But what if it is? It's not our doing. The Earth has gone through these phases for all its existence. And it's going to continue to do so. And that's not going to change. And we're not going to be able to change it or stop it. Finally today, Bay Area cities. Bay Area cities, now this is where, Silicon Valley is located, the likes of, where Apple and Google and Facebook and a bunch of other, and Twitter and a bunch of other big-time tech companies and internet companies are located that are paying their employees six figures like crazy. Well, Bay Area cities are facing a growing crisis, as they're calling it. Everything's a crisis to the left. As RVs become the homes of last resort because they're the only homes that people can afford. Now, understand these recreational vehicles, these mobile, not even mobile homes, but these things are, some of them are not cheap. They're $100,000. But understand that because of policies put in place by local municipalities and the state of California, housing prices have skyrocketed even past normal, everyday middle-class Americans' means. In other words, now if you're making $50,000 in California, you're called working poor. You can afford a $100,000 RV, but you can't afford a $500,000 tear-down, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, no-car garage house. It's insane out there. But all they have to do to alleviate, I'm sure the problem is going to alleviate itself pretty soon. All they have to do is just change their policies, reduce their taxes. But people are leaving California. Well, it's kind of, now I guess it really doesn't matter because so many of the mansions are being burned down. So the rich people now got to have some place to live. So I'm sure they're going to be entering the marketplace, causing further upward pressure of housing prices, forcing more people into RVs. And look, an RV is not such a bad thing, right? I mean, it might be good. You can pick up and move. It's easy to pick up and move. And instead of actually, they keep telling people to move. So what do you do then if this is the only thing that these people can afford? How about you build RV parks so these people can actually go and park and live? Nobody even thinks of that. Oh, no, you just want to... It's like the homeless. They keep shuffling from street corner to street corner and say, move, 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 go away. We don't want to see you anymore. It's California for you, though. Hey, you can't afford a real house, but you sure as hell can afford a $100,000 RV. Anyway, out of time for today. We'll be back here tomorrow in 21 hours. Hopefully I won't be as angry because it is the holiday season. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Monday. I'm Rod Eccles. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be clean. Damn, Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain what, why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For a Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.